What's going on, everyone? It is Skeesh. You're stuck with Tippy for this evening. In today's vlog video, we're going to go over manufacturing, how to find a manufacturing. We're gonna go over tips on how to find manufacturers, what you should look for, and we're also gonna be making some content today. TikToks, some Instagram Reels, and some YouTube Shorts, and kind of my thoughts on this whole thing right now with the short-term media and kind of what's popular right now with content creation. I'm on my way to the space now. I'm driving my mother's car because my old girl, she's in the garage getting some work done on her. But we're going up to the space office and we're gonna get some work done today on this Monday evening. Before we get into kind of the meat and potatoes of the video, I actually remembered we have to pack an order. We had an influencer contact us. They were interested in our products, so we're gonna send them a shirt, probably a couple stickers here to get them well acclimated with the brand, see if we want to work with them later in the future. So I'm gonna ship this order and pack it out real quick. I'm not gonna bore you with packing it because you guys already saw in the last vlog how we pack orders. So let's get into some of this manufacturing stuff and how to find some, what to look for, and what we look for specifically when we're searching for products, etc. So number one on the list for us at Mecon is quality. Quality is by far the highest thing we look for when looking for a manufacturer. Because you don't want to be that guy who hypes up his company, ships out to a buddy of his, you know, you're just starting off, you got to build a reputation for yourself, you ship it off to your buddy, and he gets this shitty t-shirt with shitty printing on it. That's not building a reputation, that's going to put your brand in the gutters. And it's going to be hard to come back from that. Biggest thing we look for when we look for a manufacturer is the quality. What we do, contact a manufacturer, we ask them for a sample on the product that we're looking at. We get the sample, we're like, hey, this is either good or this is not something we want to use. Then we ask, hey, can we get something printed on this specific product? We do that because if we don't like the original t-shirt, we're not going to like the printing. Also, a lot of manufacturers are going to upcharge when you do print on the product. Now, this process does take a little bit longer, but it's not the end of the world. If you want to put out a good product, you need to take the time to make sure your product is quality enough to put out for your brand. The product tested good, it prints good, you have yourself a manufacturer for that product. Now the second thing we look for here at Mecon is price. Price is a huge, huge concern for us. Let's be real, you're in business to make money. Of course, you want to provide a quality product, you want to work for yourself, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be your own boss. Those are all amazing reasons to do this, but you can't do any of it without making money. And if your product costs $20 to produce and you're selling it for $22, you're not making a very good profit, and it's going to be really, really hard to make a living off $2. Price is always a huge concern for us. We are currently in the process of trying to find cheaper ways to manufacture while keeping the quality of our product the same. We need to maintain that before we cut the price because we don't want people thinking we're a shitty brand. We want to keep our name in good standing with the customers that we do have right now. Quality always will go over price in our eyes, but this is a huge factor. You cannot diminish how big of a role price will pay. You know your own product. You need to sell it for what you think it is worth, not what you think people will buy it at. That is a huge, huge tip that I always hear from people. You know your worth, you need to make sure you sell your product that you think it is worth, not what other people might buy it as. Finally, it's kind of hard to decide what number 3 would be, honestly, because there's a lot of factors that kind of go into this. So this is one that I think is a bigger deal than some of the other ones, and that one is shipping. Shipping does also play a big factor in where you get your stuff manufactured. If you have a drop coming up and you're trying to get to a certain date, say, for example, Halloween's coming up, and you have a Halloween drop coming up, and you have these cool designs, you got really good feedback on them, and you find a manufacturer, but they can't get them produced until November 15th. You're kind of in the shitter. We kind of don't really worry about how long something's gonna take. Of course, if it is an exuberant amount of time, we're not gonna deal with it. We gotta find something in a timely manner, but it's not something that we stress over and we don't die over it, you know what I mean? You want to get your stuff in timely, and if you're drop shipping, you want to make sure your customers get your product as soon as possible. If it takes 2 to 3 months for a customer to get your product, It doesn't matter how good your quality is. It doesn't matter how good your price is. They're not gonna trust you. If you promised a week, 8 days, and it takes 2 months, your reputation is in the shitter with that particular customer. To pretty much sum it up, always make sure your quality is top notch. That's what's gonna make your name as a brand. People are gonna recognize your quality over anything else. 2 is price. You wanna find a good price where you make a profit and where your customer is satisfied with the price, where they feel comfortable buying your product. 3 is shipping. Always gotta make sure your stuff is on time. If you do inventory like us, it's not that big of a deal, but we still have our limits in case we have a drop coming up for a specific holiday, or we need stuff in stock ASAP. So these are the big 3. Let's hop over to Alibaba, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly who we use and kind of what we're doing right now with a certain manufacturer. All right, so I hopped over to Alibaba. I'm just screen recording on my phone, it's easy, you know. But this is probably one of the greatest things ever invented. They have Alibaba and AliExpress. You can do countless things on here. There are so many products for you to search for, and they're all at really good prices. If we was just to go to one of these hoodies, let's just check it out. You can get one hoodie at one minimum order quantity for $3.28. Now, when you see that, you might think it's really cheap and really crappy quality. That is where the samples come in. So we are talking to this fine young lady here. This is a Chinese manufacturer. We are trying to get bomber jackets and hoodies. If you go to their profile, you can find the exact company they work for, and you can view all of their products, their history, who they work for. You know, there's so much, they have certifications. There's so much stuff that you can feel comfortable buying when you buy from Alibaba. It's always important to check this quality of the samples. So if you wanted to get something like this jacket here, you can talk to the supplier and they will be happy to help you. You can ask for a sample in any color and they will happily oblige to do it. Shipping times are actually really good. They've gotten a lot better throughout the years. It's usually within 7 to 10 business days and you can get your sample. And then a big thing to look at here when you look at customizable options, they say minimum order quantity for a custom piece is 200 pieces. Now for this particular product, that might be true, but that's not true for everything. Like I said, we were looking into bomber jackets. And this is where a huge lesson that you guys need to take away is, do not be afraid to ask. I say that because the minimum order quantity for our bomber jackets, so the minimum order quantity for this particular bomber jacket was 50 for a customizable piece. We got 2 samples in black and this green here in a medium and a large. We really liked the quality. They were so much better than I thought they would be, honestly. I was really happy with them. Here it says minimum order quantity 100 pieces. I was talking to the manufacturer and I said, hey, we're a very small business. We're just starting out. We can't do the 50 minimum order quantity. I said, unfortunately, we're not going to go with the bomber jackets, but we are really interested in a particular hoodie. She said, I can work with you. What would you like? We told her how many we wanted, and she was happy to do it, even with customizable options. So don't be afraid to ask the manufacturer what you want. The only thing they can do is say no. Alibaba is probably one of the greatest things you can ever find. There's so many things that you can get here. There's literally everything for any business you could ever need. But don't be afraid to ask. Always ask. The worst they can do is say no. If they don't like you, you can always find another manufacturer in that particular product. It's not the end of the world. But ask them, especially if you're a small business. They are willing to help you if you're polite and you talk to them accordingly. So that's the biggest thing I wanted to take away from today's lesson is always ask. Don't be afraid to talk to the manufacturer. You know, give them a little bit of personal information. It might help with the business relations on the farther end. Just don't be afraid to ask. The worst they can do is say no. And if so, just move on and find someone else. But Alibaba is an amazing resource to have as a small business owner. It's one of the best. If the quality matches you, the prices and everything, you have yourself a business relationship for a long time because they're definitely willing to help and they want to sell you their products. So with that little lesson out of the way, I'm gonna make some content, TikToks, Reels, Instagram Shorts, because if you're not on that game, you better hop on it fast. And the train's leaving, so get on your content game. It sucks, but you gotta do it. You gotta enjoy it. I'm trying to enjoy it. That's all you can really do. So we're gonna make some TikToks, Reels, and Instagram Shorts. I hate making TikToks so much. They're so cringy. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. I just wanted to go over some stuff about manufacturing, how we do it, what we look for. Remember the 3 points: quality, price, and shipping. Always remember those, and don't be afraid to ask the manufacturer any questions you have, or ask anything, even if it's just for help. Ask someone you know, ask someone you might consider a mentor. Just ask for help if you need it, more so when you need it, because you will in this journey of entrepreneurship. I ended up making a TikTok. I also edited one for my personal page. Just always keep up on that content. You don't want to be left behind. That's the key right here. The more your brand name is out there, the better. The more that people see it, the more you're going to get noticed. So keep up on your content, guys. We'll be back next week, I'm sure, doing something. So make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, hit the bell for these weekly videos, and make sure to comment if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns. Just let us know down below. We'll get back with you next week. Thanks for hanging out with Skish.